No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, so with this video, there was something interesting that has been on my mind for quite some time that I finally feel is the right time to let off my chest, and that's where anime and manga fandom, and I've been guilty of this back in the day myself, but in particular nowadays, something that has just become, I would argue, a little rampant, is the fact that anime and manga fans, to a certain degree, when it comes to an understanding of what's really going on and where to place blame in certain situations, it almost feels like people be stuck in the Matrix. And what I mean by that is people don't really understand what the heck be going on and where to place blame and why things happen the way they happen, and why, for example, somebody such as myself say certain things and I point certain directions. Now, a lot of this, what I'm saying, is probably vague, so we're gonna break it down so you can exactly understand what I'm talking about. I definitely feel as though when it comes to anime and manga fandom, one of the big fundamental things about it all is that people, they romanticize things. They romanticize the anime and manga industry as a whole in terms of the artistic expression and the art side of things, of like, yo, I really love this show, I really love these characters, I really love the world of these characters, oh my god, this is freaking amazing, I can't believe it, I love what this character did here, this character did there, because rightfully so, one of the things that, you know, draws us all into this medium to begin with is the fact that we love the medium. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that they just come to criticize it, they don't really care for it, but aside from those douchebags, we talk about anime and manga, we watch anime and manga, read anime and manga, we are into anime and manga because we love it. It's a passion, it's something that we really are, you know, into, it's something that we really care for, and we want to see thrive, grow, and change and all of that jazz. But sometimes we get lost in it. Sometimes we overlook certain aspects and we don't look in the right direction when it comes to information and just in general certain aspects of the entirety of the picture because we love these shows so much. I'll paint you a picture, for example. One of the things is, like, oftentimes whenever there's a show or a manga that I feel is coming to an end, I will talk about it, and a lot of people will come at me like, whoa, why would you even say something like that? How dare you say that it's going to end? And it's never that I want the series to end. I want to be clear about something. Like, unless it feels like, oh, the story's about to wrap up, then I'll be like, okay, I think that this is where it's going to go. But I'm never a fan of seeing a manga creator or somebody that has passion seeing their dreams come to an end, of like, oh, their, you know, manga getting canceled or their manga coming to an end premature or anything like that. Like, that's never the case, especially if they got big dreams of making this thing last a long time. I would never be the person to say, oh man, yeah, screw their dreams, I want this shit to be over, I hate it, it sucks. Y'all know that's not a part of my character, y'all know that's not me, but sometimes people, because of certain things that I say, they come across and they look at me like, oh, so what, you're a hater, you want this thing to end or whatnot. Like, for example, Black Clover, one of the things that I've said in the past many times, probably a little too many to be honest with you, I'll admit, but ultimately I've said that it looks like it's gonna possibly end soon. And when I said that, a lot of people said, no, there's a whole bunch of story elements to go through, there's still Asta's dad, there's still this, there's that, and 150% these people that had all of these points are right. There is all of these story elements to go through. There's still 100 million things that they could do with the story, the characters. There's still so much world building that can be done. There's so much exploration that can happen. There's still Yami's home country of Japan. There is a plethora of things that can be done with the story. So when I say, for example, again, that I feel like, man, it could end this year, it has nothing to do with the fact that, oh, the author has run out of story or that I'm disliking the story per se. What I mean by that when I say these things, and what I feel like a lot of anime and manga fans, because they're so invested into these worlds and these characters that they don't look and see the bigger picture, is the fact that anime and manga is a business. Business supersedes everything else. And don't get me wrong, if you want to have a debate in that aspect on whether or not the business of a certain series shows that it'll end or not, that's a different conversation altogether. But for example, like that series in particular, because the series isn't the most successful, and it looks like a lot of the times, as a matter of fact, for the last, I want to say maybe 6 or 7 years, it seems as though there's this new thing called, what we call anyway, the Purge of Shonen Jump, where once we get to a point of a generation of manga, it seems like the magazine starts to get rid of everything in sight. I'll never forget where a lot of people were saying, yo, it's like the Shonen Jump Purge, where they got rid of Beelzebub, they got rid of Madaka Box, they got rid of just like everything that was in the magazine at the time, Toriko, then Naruto shortly after went, and even Coach Chikami got out of there. It felt like a genuine purge of the magazine. And again, a lot of that all has to do with business. Who's in charge at this time? Who's the one that's running and overseeing the magazine? Who's running and overseeing the publishing company? Who's trying to make a name for themselves in this right now climate? Is anybody coming in and taking over? Is there a new editor-in-chief? These are things that are very impactful for your favorite series' survival. For example, if a new editor-in-chief came tomorrow to Shonen Jump, they might have a whole different vision and direction that they want to take the magazine, and it might not include having My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and all these battle shonen. They might be like, yo, I want to go more in a scientific direction. I want more jump manga like Dr. Stone. Or they might say, yo, a lot of the dark shonen elements of like Jujutsu Kaisen and the demon, demonic stuff of Demon Slayer really worked. I want 3 more Jujutsu Kaisen and 3 more Demon Slayer manga in the magazine as well, because we want to get sales up. And again, if things from the past that, worked before but aren't really working now, like for example, the new work from the creator of Tokyo Ghoul, maybe some of those story elements, maybe his arc, maybe his pen game at one point was something that was very vital and very huge in the, anime and manga world, isn't necessarily the biggest thing now, and they're not going to want more of that if his latest work isn't hopping off the charts of, oh wow, it's making so much noise. So there's definitely always going to be something overseen, despite the fact that we romanticize that, like, yo, it's anime and manga, the author has, an idea, the creators have a vision, Oda wants to go this amount of time. If tomorrow One Piece did 100,000 first week sales, Shonen Jump could say, oh my god, we went from 1 million to 100,000. It's time to wrap this bad boy up. And instead of getting the crazy amount of storytelling that we were supposed to get, they could wrap it all up and say, yo, we're speeding this thing up and getting a rush job. I mean, look what happened at the end towards Bleach. I want to say a lot of it had to do with Tite Kubo having health issues and a wide variety of things, but it got a rush job, and Kubo had way more story to tell. But people will definitely, call it out that, yo, it didn't feel completely the way it should have been in the end. And again, I think a lot of the times fans don't see that part of the story because they just get lost in the whole thing of, well, an author said this, or I love this story, it can't end no way. And that's what I call kind of getting lost in the matrix, getting lost in the make-believe of, yes, you love this world, yes, these characters is awesome, yes, I love anime and manga to death, but it's a business, and the business part of it supersedes our enjoyment and entertainment. They're not necessarily, as much as they like to market and say like, yeah, we love our fans and stuff like that, it's really a business. And at the end of the day, if the series isn't cutting the mustard, making the money they expected, and they're trying to do different things, it'll be over for any series. No series is safe. If tomorrow your favorite story, Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero, you name it, if it did 5,000 first week volume sales, it's over. That's it. They're throwing you out of there. So that's something that I definitely wanted to throw in there, because some people mistake when I say certain things of like, yo, maybe this series could end right here, or yo, Oda might be wrapping things up right here. It's not always the case of like, yeah, I'm looking at it because I want it to end, or I feel it's bad, or anything like that. There's just more to the picture than meets the eye, and don't get lost in the Matrix, mate, especially if it's the Matrix Resurrections, because, you kind of suck. No, but I'm curious what you guys think, man. Have you ever looked at the picture and seen that, like, yo, maybe this series isn't doing the greatest, maybe sales is slipping, sales is going downhill, and you've come up with a conclusion, but fans attacked you on all sides of the spectrum because of it, and not understanding? Again, we all love this medium. We all cherish this medium. We are fans of this medium, but there's more to the medium than just the actual arts itself. Again, the business. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy! Have an awesome day. Peace in. And, yeah, don't get lost in the Matrix, man. What do they say? Wake up. Yeah. Have an awesome day.
So just go to